The movie begins with a man digging in the mines of Red Creek City in desperate search of gold during a lunar eclipse. Suddenly, the mine starts shaking and the hole that he's dug gets lit. A black cloud comes out of the hole and possesses the man, burning a circle on his chest and making his eyes turn black. This man is Otis, and apparently he's mistakenly dug the door to hell in which souls get sent to get punished. A month later, Sheriff Roy in Wyoming comes to pick up his daughter Charlotte and her fiancé Angus at the train station. Roy doesn't like Angus, but Charlotte defends Angus, saying that he makes her feel happy. Suddenly, a group of robbers led by Zeke arrive and start kidnapping the civilians. Roy asks Charlotte to hide inside the station and engages in a gunfight with the robbers. However, during the fight, a mysterious figure shoots Roy from behind and he dies. In the next scene, Roy wakes up in a strange office, and a woman named Hano welcomes him and informs him that he's dead and has come straight to heaven. She tells him that he's in the Rest in Peace department and that she's in charge of that department. R.I.P.D is God's police force, and they're in charge of hunting down evil souls that escaped hell and caused trouble on Earth by possessing normal human beings. Hano has read the file of Roy's life and saw all the good that he did for the people in the world, which is why he is in heaven. She then makes him an offer to join the R.I.P.D and help them hunt down evil souls on Earth. Desperate to return to Earth to meet his daughter, Roy agrees to sign the contract without even really reading it. Moments later, Hano takes Roy to the armory and gives him a weapon, which is R.I.P.D's holy gun. She tells him that if he fires that gun on any evil soul, it will go straight to hell. Hano then assigns Roy his first mission to catch all the evil souls that escaped recently in Red Creek City during the eclipse and send them back to hell. She reminds him that going back to Earth will mean sticking to the case and not getting revenge for his death. Roy happily accepts the case, and at the same time, his chest is burnt with the R.I.P.D's logo. Right after that, Hano puts Roy inside a machine that brings him back to Earth. On Earth, Roy shows up inside a portable toilet, and there, he meets a woman with 2 horses. Her name is Jean, and she's a fellow R.I.P.D agent who'll be working along with Roy on the same mission. And she's been dead for more than 400 years and is really experienced. In the town, Zeke and his men are seen robbing a bank, but they choose to kidnap people instead of taking money. One of the robbers, Slim, keeps making mistakes annoying Zeke. The other 5 robbers are related, however Slim is the adopted one. On the other hand, Roy returns to his town and goes to his home to meet his daughter. However, Jean stops him from meeting his daughter, saying that she won't be able to recognize him. She tells him that even though he's sent back to Earth, he's not given his own body. In fact, he's actually in someone else's body. Here, Jean shows Roy his reflection in a mirror, which reveals that both Jean and Roy are sent back to Earth as 2 black women. Roy discovers that he's buried next to his wife and that the coyote got his body after he was shot dead. Jean informs Roy that if he tries to tell his daughter the truth, she will not be able to understand him and his words will all just be gibberish. Hearing this, Roy gets upset, and their conversation is interrupted by Roy's best friend Henry, who's come to visit Roy's grave. He doesn't recognize Roy and Jean and sees them as 2 women, and while Roy pretends to be mute, Jean chats with Henry. While talking to Henry, Jean learns that his daughter's fiancé Angus has been kidnapped by Zeke's men. He tells them that 3 gang members were caught by law enforcement, while 2 have managed to escape. Roy decides to rescue Angus and ignores Jean when she reminds him that this is not their mission. In the nearby forest, the 3 captured robbers are being taken away, and Roy plans to get information on Angus's location from them. Jean notices the robbers have a burning circle on their chest, which means that they're possessed by evil souls. She then goes to the marshal and says that her sister got injured after falling from a hill. Initially, they refuse to help, but later agree when Jean offers them money. 2 of the men come to help Jean's sister, while Roy pretends to be unconscious. He then quickly gets up and both of them attack the marshals one by one. They eventually get to the cage, but it gets difficult for them to open the door of the cage, and this is when Jean uses the magical water that she has and throws it onto one of the robbers. As soon as the water drenches the robber, the evil soul inside of him comes out and spread throughout the cage, breaking it open. Roy immediately takes out his holy gun and starts shooting the evil souls, sending them back to hell. Here, the third robber, who's Slim, also has a soul inside of him. While Gene catches Slim to interrogate him, Roy finds a bunch of posters on the ground and discovers that Slim is wanted for killing him. Learning this, Roy punches Slim, but he swears that he's being framed as he never really shot anyone. Roy was about to kill him with his gun, but Gene reminds him that they need him for clues. Gene then throws a drop of magic water on Slim, and he says that he's actually a good soul who was mistakenly sent to hell just because he used to steal. When Roy asks him about Angus, Slim tells him that there's a powerful soul named Otis who forces robbers, including him, to kidnap people all over the place and deliver them to Red Creek. Otis also has a similar gun to theirs. Slim says that although he has no idea about his actual plan, he just knows about the people that are being imprisoned. And along with Slim, Roy and Gene decide to go to Red Creek. Meanwhile, a woman named Nell comes to Otis and tells him that Zeke has kidnapped more people for them, but the robbers are starting to have doubts about Otis's origins. She tells him that they're unable to believe what Otis says about himself, and Otis replies that he's the one who escaped hell because the door to hell grew weak during the lunar eclipse. He says that the people that they've kidnapped must be digging the door to hell for them until he finishes his plan during the upcoming lunar eclipse. He reveals his intention to make the door to hell weak forever and plans to rule the world with the power of evil souls. Otis then goes to check on the new robbers and punishes the ones that don't have faith in him. A few hours later, Gene, Roy, and Slim arrive at Red Creek and discover that the whole town is empty with very few people visible. They go to the mayor of the town and ask him for a room in his hotel. However, the mayor, Julius, refuses to give them the room, seeing two women without any man. But then Gene and Roy threaten him by showing him their guns, and he agrees to give them a room. As they proceed to their room, they meet a townswoman named Beverly there, and they ask her where all the people of the town are, and she tells them that Julius has made a rumor that you can dig out a big treasure of gold in a nearby mine. And this is why everybody's gone, as they were hunting for treasure and gold and never came back. Gene and Roy think that they should also go to the mines themselves and see what's actually going on. And so, they tie Slim to their room because they still don't trust him and go toward the mines. On their way, they meet a strange man wearing a mask, and he tells them that a gas is spreading in the town because of the opening of the door of hell. It's revealed that the masked man is actually the mayor Julius, and Julius tells Gene and Roy that he went to the man in the mines and met Otis there. However, when he started feeling ill because of the gas, he asked Otis for a mask, and Otis gave him a mask, and now he's in his control. And this is pretty much why he spread the rumor in the entire town that there's gold in the mines. Gene immediately realizes that Otis is digging a hole into hell, and a poisonous gas is coming out of it, which is making people sick. When the hole gets big enough, all the evil souls will come out of it and possess everyone on Earth. At the same time, some robbers controlled by Otis come to attack them, and Gene and Roy try to fight them off, but the robbers were high in number. They take Gene and Roy with them and imprison them, and there, Nell comes to meet them and recognizes Gene. Nell used to be an R.I.P.D agent too, but she went rogue, and this is why Otis has a gun similar to theirs. Suddenly, a guard brings Angus to the same cell, but Angus tries to fight him off. More guards come quickly and overpower him. However, Roy is impressed and admits that he's been wrong about Angus. After Nell leaves, Gene takes some time and contemplates Otis's plan, and she understands everything. She tells Roy that on the night of the blood moon, Otis plans to destroy the door to hell and wants all the evil souls to come to the world. After that, the door to hell will remain open forever, and he will rule the world and humans will be destroyed. Roy is shocked to hear of such a dangerous plan, and later, Slim is released by Beverly and comes to save Gene and Roy. He also shows them a piece of paper as evidence as to the fact that he's innocent and that he's not the one that killed Roy when the robbers attacked him. He was actually accused of this murder, but he never really killed anyone. The three of them then plan on how to go inside to close the door of hell. However, However, Jean refuses to go ahead with them. She reveals that she was a human and that she was burnt alive by people after being considered a witch, and since then, she's been afraid of fire. She gives Roy the bottle of the magic water to fight Otis and tells him that this water is actually God's tears. As they put the magical water on the door of hell, it would close. However, Roy refuses to take it and tells Jean to come inside with them to fight. He tells her that she needs to face and overcome her fear, and he still hesitates and stays out. Eventually, all of them go inside the mine and start fighting the evil souls who are controlling the humans. They encounter Otis and he starts dominating them because he has the most dangerous soul inside of him. Roy tells Slim to save everyone and take all of them out, and finally, Jean comes inside, defeating her fear. She throws the magical water on the way to hell, and all the souls that were inside the humans leave their bodies. After all the evil souls return to hell, the door closes. However, Otis is still outside. And now, the evil soul inside of him comes out in its real form and begins to attack them. To defeat him, Roy takes out his holy gun and puts the remaining magical water inside, and he then fires the gun at the evil soul and kills it too. And now, Roy has completed the purpose for which he was sent back to Earth, and all of them return to the town to find it full of people. A few days later, Slim is made the new mayor of the town, and Beverly becomes his assistant. The soul inside Slim says that it doesn't want to return to hell as it's a good one, and Jean promises that she'll try to take it to heaven, but till then, it will have to help the people of the town as their mayor. Lastly, Jean and Roy go to attend Charlotte and Angus's wedding in the form of two women, and seeing his daughter dressed as a bride, Roy gets emotional and tries to tell her that he's her dad. But, just as Jean said, she fails to understand anything. And at last, Roy hugs his daughter and leaves after wishing her all the good in the world. And after leaving the wedding, Roy tells Jean that now he will finally return to R.I.P.D. and rest forever. Hearing this, Jean starts laughing and says that it seems like Roy didn't read the contract properly. She informs him that he has to work as R.I.P.D. for 100 more years while staying on Earth with her, meaning he can't rest his soul just yet. And that is how the movie comes to an end.